Oh yes. Hello. I'm Megatron, and you're listening to Altered Geek Unlimited. Excellent. Yes. Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited, episode 96. This one will be a short one this week. Well, mostly because I'm going to have two come out. Due to next week's short scheduling, which I will explain in a minute. I'm going to be shooting a movie for my classroom, and in the process, there's going to be 3 days of shooting, so I'm going to be exhausted next week. So that being said, there won't be recording next week, so I'm recording 2 episodes. This one will be released on regular scheduled date, and the other one will be released next week. So, with that being said, I will be right back after this commercial break. So, some of the articles I decided to bring up this week, because, it's kind of a week. Obviously, SDCC happened last week. There was a ton of great stuff, which will be talked about in the next episode, unfortunately. It will have Mike Powers in it and myself, so there's that to look forward to. That will cover basically the TV and film aspects of pretty much our superhero geekdom that happened. It'll be just a giant splurge of information. So with that being said, I'm going to cover some of the other miscellaneous stuff that I saw that popped up over the last week and a half. And I hope that this episode kind of comes over a little bit better than last week's, because last week's was honestly kind of a little bit of a downer, in the sense that I was not only recording it to get it out, but I was also having the issue of I was having personal issues mentally. I was just drained. So when I recorded it, that's why. So yeah, getting out with it, Lucasfilm releases an official Star Wars app, which I thought is kind of interesting. Not that that's unsurprising for a app to be made of something, but it's, you can have Star Wars in the palm of your hand all the time, anywhere you go. And it's for both iOS and Android. Sorry, Windows phone users, those 5 of you out there, there's nothing for you. It's got, in the app, there's a lot of notifications on it, on big announcements, including trailer releases, movie news. You can do light side, dark side, droid interfaces. You can unlock 3D characters from The Force Awakens with some kind of an augmented reality camera feature. Not quite sure what that is. Take and share a Star Wars self shot, because I refuse to use the word selfie. I think it's retarded. In various iconic costumes and settings, including Jedi, Princess Leia with hair buns, Han Solo's carbonite freeze, and more. There's Star Wars themed weather, 5-day forecasts, original art. Wield a lightsaber and hone your skills against a training remote, like in A New Hope. Animated GIFs, classic sounds, quick updates, news ticker, episode 8 stuff on there too, with a timer, which is kind of almost unnecessary at this point. You can read the news and blogs, basically anything that has to do with StarWars.com. You'll be tuned into everything on it. Moving on, we have the notice that there will be finally a Killing Joke movie, which, with all of the dark stuff DC's put out recently and all of the original stuff and everything else that they've done in between, I'm not quite surprised. That was kind of the logical thing that they would do that at some point, having done The Dark Knight Returns already, and among other things. So yeah, that's definitely something that I was looking forward to. The funny thing is spoiler alert for those that don't know, but although most people should know by now, Mark Hamill came back to reprise Joker in Arkham Knight. I won't tell you the capacity that he was there, because I don't want to spoil the story of it. I know that he's in the DLC for Batgirl, but he's also, there's an element of him in the actual storyline with Batman, and that's all I'm going to say. So, Mark Hamill basically said never say never, that he won't ever do it, but he basically fully retired after Arkham City. It's just that if the right job comes along, he's going to do it. My guess is they're going to get Joker, Mark Hamill Joker for The Killing Joke. There's Bruce Timm is going to be the guy headlining and adapting it. So there's talks that Harley Quinn might be in this, like they may have adapted it and added her in. Not quite sure how that's going to work, but I would be in favor if Tara Strong took that over, the Harley Quinn again still, and Hamill doing Joker, and of course Conroy doing Batman. That would just be spectacular, having the three of them together again for this. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to see The Killing Joke brought to comic form, because maybe it'll make a little bit more sense to me in the animated film over having the actual comic to sit there. I mean, I got the comic when we did the review on the pull bag, but it's just I like it visually coming at me. So, and then having all of that in there. But Hamill, I know, definitely is down for that, because there was a tweet from him in 2011 that says I'd come back for that, spread the word, campaign for The Killing Joke. So, yeah, there is that. That would be so awesome. For those that don't know, there have been a lot of these star campaigns. I'm not sure how much. I mean, yeah, they're throwing away their weight for charities, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. The only thing that gets me is it's a sweepstakes that you're putting your money into. So I mean, you're not throwing your money away. It is going towards something, which is awesome. But I started seeing it somewhere around like the Hunger Games, the last one that came out. They started doing this, and then a lot of films have done it since. Like they've had it for, get a chance to go with Robert Downey Jr. to the Avengers premiere, or go with Arnold to the Terminator premiere. Well, now they're doing this one where you can have a walk-on role in Star Trek Beyond from omaze.com/Star Trek, which is kind of cool. And then they have a video on their website with all of the cast members, and then Idris Elba also in the video with them. And it says the grand prize winner and a guest will fly to Vancouver and stay in a 4-star hotel, go behind the scenes of Star Trek Beyond, hang with the cast, and experience the entire filming of the movie, be transformed by hair, makeup, and costume teams into a Star Trek character and film for a scene in Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, so I mean, and then there's 6 additional winners that get to be, Star Trek Tivoli Go crew, basically. I'm not going to get into all the details of that. If you want more information, just go to omaze.com/Star Trek. But I thought that was kind of cool. I chipped in, so hopefully that'd be cool. It's always been one of my things that I would like to be on Star Trek, even if it's not like my favorite rendition of it. It's still Star Trek to me. No matter how much I bash Into Darkness, I'm hoping this one's better. They can only go up. That's the positive thoughts. So SDCC also had official Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice toys, which are awesome. I can't see how I'm going to go through this movie and not actually want to purchase one. I'm going to want... I don't care about the Superman figure whatsoever. The armored Batman, both of them, because there's the kind of grayed out one, and I'll have all these in the show notes. They'll all be in there. There's like a grayed out suit that looks like a battle suit, kind of like the Dark Knight Returns one. And then there's like this chromed out one, and I have no idea what it is, but it looks just like it, but it's got like the bat emblem, and it just looks more fortified than the previous one. It looks awesome. And then there's like, of course, like a black suited one of Batman. I have a feeling he's gonna have a lot of different suits in this movie, which would be basically easy sells for the candy, or not candy, for the toy stores. Getting jumbled up in my excitement of the figures. I haven't been this excited over a Batman figure besides the animated line that's been coming out for DC, like their collector's ones with the Batman animated series figures and the New Adventures Batman figures, which I have yet to get the Batman for that. I have the New Adventures one. I don't have the other one. I want that one. I'd get the Batmobile, but it's too much and it's too big. So, that being said, moving on, it seems Capcom has made an official wearable Mega Man helmet, which some people have nitpicked and said it's Mega Man X. Some people have nitpicked and said it's Mega Man. It doesn't have the gem in the center, so it's not Mega Man X. So I don't know why people are going to get confused. But yeah, it's an officially made by Capcom with high quality ABS plastic with a high polished finish, authentic proportions and details, plus working LED lights. A unique clamshell hinge allows the front and back half of the helmet to easily open up to comfortably fit your head inside the soft padded interior for a perfect fit. I wish that they'd make these as like bike helmets, if that makes any sense. Like, because that would just be cool. Even if it doesn't have the LEDs, I'd be down for that. I'd wear that. Some cosplayers already used it. I believe I saw something with somebody that's already done it, but it looks spectacular. It is $150 though, so there is that. But I mean, if you're somebody that's high into Mega Man and looking for an authentic helmet, that's definitely the way to go. Something I saw pop up earlier in my newsfeed. There was a report that Batman PC, like Batman Arkham Knight PC, fix won't hit until September at the earliest, which I'm sorry, that's just unacceptable. They should never have sent the PC port out early. They should have released it later to make sure it was fixed. Like, I understand the console ones were perfect and done when they came out, unless there was something that I don't know about because I don't have the consoles to play them on that. But the PC port was a mess from the get-go, and to try and kind of backpedal on it and then say, oh no, suspend sales, give refunds, blah, blah, blah. They should have just said PC version to come later this year, and people would have just been like, okay. Now, because they get people all riled up for nothing. I'm still waiting for the Game of the Year edition when everything will be all rolled into one box, because I refuse to deal with a mess. Kind of like how Windows 10 is going to be when it comes out, but that's aside. So they're going to have the fixes start rolling out in September or later, according to an internal EB Games email obtained by Kotaku Australia. They just keep digging a bigger hole. That's all I can say on the subject. So yeah, I was commenting about it earlier in the week, and Mike and I were kind of talking about it. And he says, I can't believe how nickel and dime this game has been and become between Rocksteady Games and WB Games. He said they should be ashamed. And it's funny, Arkham has literally lived long enough to become the villain, which I thought was hilarious when he brought that up, because it's like that quote from The Dark Knight where Harvey Dent's telling Batman, you either live long enough to see yourself, to become the hero, or live long enough to become the villain or whatever. I know I just butchered the hell out of that quote, but it's so fitting because the series was great when it started out. It was like the Batman game that we deserve, and then it's still the Batman game we deserve, but it turned into a bad game by the end, just because of all the mess that's come out. But I will say that in their something that I do find cool that they do have with all of the releases now, and it's kind of neat. They have the Bat Family Skins pack coming in August. They got like the new Batman. They got the 1970s Batman in there, of course, which looks a hell of a lot better. They have like it almost looks like an original, like it looks like a cross between like a New 52, like an original Batman, and like almost I can't really describe it. Again, it'll be in the show notes. And then they have one that's almost like the Arkham game one, but it's more black. So I'm not quite sure exactly what suit. It's like a dark bluish type thing going on. So I'm not really sure. They have the Long Halloween Catwoman. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the Long Halloween Batman. I'm not sure. Again, you'll have to let me know. The Nightwing suit, which is the blue one, and then they have the regular Robin costume, which is kind of neat. And then I saw another skin pack that came out around the same time that has it has the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman costume with that Batmobile skin, which when I get the game, I'm definitely using. Now, if they had the animated Batman, I'd probably use those first, but I can't lie. This would be what I would go for. Like, no kidding. That's what I would hit first. So yeah, there's that. So on a side note, I've been watching a lot of trailers, and of course I'm going to bring up all of this again in the SDC episode with Mike in it. The Suicide Squad one, the Batman vs Superman one. I've seen the Apocalypse one for X-Men. I've seen Deadpool, and I've seen the Star Wars footage, and I've seen the Suicide Squad. Like, everything has just been awesome. I'm not as thrilled for the X-Men one, the Batman vs Superman one, and again, I'm gonna get more into detail on what I like and don't like in them. But like, they're just spectacular. If you haven't seen them, go see them. So another article that I kind of found has to do with Nintendo. The next one is going to be Nintendo NX, which I'm not exactly sure what the NX is supposed to stand for. Like, maybe Nintendo 10 or something? I don't know. I don't know. But it says that they're only... What they're planning on doing is things went pretty wrong as far as like how the Wii U has been marketed and done and everything. It says they will not stop supporting 3DS and Wii U in favor of the NX. They're going to keep making games for it, which I think they've done that like the entire step of the ride, like every step of the way they've done that. But there's also like sayings that the NX might replace both the 3DS and the Wii U, which I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Who knows? I don't know. It's gaming. They always upgrade something. It's not surprising. Again, if you want to read more on it, it's going to be in the show notes. So, I think... yes, I had a couple more things that I thought was kind of cool this week that came up. Comcast is supposedly giving free upgrades to people, as far as saying, oh, did your internet get faster? What did they do? And it seems to be in my particular area that they're saying this. Which is in the Genesee County, like Flint, Michigan type area, Detroit, all of these bigger cities, basically mid-Michigan. They're saying that Comcast is giving their Blast internet tier people who get 50 megabyte internet download speeds an upgrade to 75 megabytes just as an upgrade for free. Which is awesome if you pay for the $50 one, or the 50 megabyte one. A few people I've heard from that have the 50 megabyte one that live in this area currently do not get the even 50 or 75, and they pay for the 50. So I don't know. I get the 25, so it doesn't affect me yet. Eventually, I'm sure I'll get the 50 and it'll bump to 75. But they do now... which is kind of interesting. They used to have a bandwidth, or not a bandwidth, a megabyte speed cap for their connections at like 100 megabytes. They now have a new extreme tier with 175 megabits per second download. And then they have a Gigabit Pro service that delivers 2 gigabytes per second speed via fiber to the home. I knew that was coming. I think we reported something about a 2 gigabyte that they were talking about. Maybe not. I can't remember. But the only issue with that is I think that they're saying that it's going to be like a $8,000 commitment for the 2 gigabit Pro service that they have coming out, which is kind of a ridiculous amount of money because they're requiring a 2-year commitment for Gigabit Pro, and they're charging $299 a month for the service. So it's going to double what Google Fiber does, but Google gives you full TV service for the $130. So whatever. Anyways, the monthly fee adds up to around $7,200, and then up to $500 for installation, another $500 for activation, and then so you're talking about $8,000 for 2 years of service. But you get 2 gigabits per second download, so if that's worth it to you, then yay! But it's only a matter of time before that price comes down eventually. I just thought it was kind of interesting that we're finally getting to the gigabit speeds, and, it's been, 10 years since, everything should have maxed out. So, thank you for listening to Altered Geek Unlimited. You can reach us in the following ways. You can get a hold of us via the website, geekcastradio.com or alteredgeek.com. You can contact us on the Twitters at Altered Geek, or my Twitter handle is at SCP21. I will guarantee the next episode that comes out, which I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to come out a lot sooner than next Friday, just because of the timing of everything. It's probably going to come out around Tuesday, I want to say. Maybe even Wednesday. It just kind of depends. This episode will be the regular schedule. So yeah, there's that. I do plan on talking SDCC, like I said before. There probably will be another special episode next week. I want to talk about the online colleges that you can take classes and learn stuff, or you can pay to get the certificate. Kind of like what I did for the superhero pop culture class, which I'm waiting to get my certificate, which I can't wait to get. It should be like the end of the month I get that, which will be really awesome. Signature from Stanley and Michael Uslan and stuff, so that'll be nice. So I'm probably going to bring that up, and then if there's anything you guys want to bring up, feel free to do so. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.